Yo, yo, yo. Y'all asses in here. Let's see something. Y'all a minute to get in here. Need my mic. Welcome, everybody. All right, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. We will be playing Star Wars later on today, but I wanted to go live because I wanted to talk about some Star Wars stuff. I wanted to talk about the notion that people don't like the sequels or the prequels or the original films. Because I heard this podcast where these guys were discussing with people, letting people come on. With, I know y'all know Star Wars Theory, which I like his channel, and they was just talking about different opinions on the subject. So I just want to know why certain movies are your favorite and the reasons why, and why some make. My favorite movie is Star Wars: A New Hope. It's still my ultimate favorite. This one right here, the first movie, 1977, and I got my own reasons of why that is. I don't have a problem with the sequel movies. The best out of them, if you ask me, the best when it came to story and just giving the original feel was The Force Awakens. But I want to know what you guys think because everyone that came on to the podcast last night had different opinions on the subject. So some guys and some girls on there, or some men and women on there, had the notion of the sequels made them feel like detached from the whole series, and some didn't. It was a guy on there, 52 years old, who was bullied and beat up real bad, left in the woods when he was like 9 or 10, and he was alive. He said he was like 10 when the first movie came out. Hello. I'm sorry, but basically he went through some things, and um, Ray's story reminded him of himself. You know how she didn't have a parent; she was kind of like alone, left when she was real young, and she was always searching for help or searching for a belonging. So him being bullied and beat up real bad when he was younger, it kind of left him with those same emotions and feelings. And at the age of 50 some years old, for a grown man of that age to come on and say why the sequels mean so much to him, and on top of that, having a daughter as 20 something in college that he can share that with, and those movies touch his heart, it was a different perspective. So, for me, A New Hope is always my favorite, the first movie, because I relate to Luke a lot. I've went through some things that I know how it feels to be one place but feeling like you belong another. So that movie and just that character, the way they wrote the character and the way the movie is on the screen, it just something about it. It was just it's just set apart, and all the other movies are good. I like um, what is it? I like The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, but A New Hope just does it for me. Those movies are great too. Force Awakens was good. Last Jedi, I got mixed feelings about that film. We're gonna talk about that though. The prequels, I like all of them. The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. My favorite out of those three would be Revenge of the Sith, because I feel like that's when the movies reach their climax, which you guys know if you are Star Wars fans. With Anakin and all his emotions, I relate to Anakin too, the anger, and if you don't get that under control, the emotions that you deal with, the things that you lose, like he couldn't balance the loss of his mother, and the fact that they were slaves, and the fact that he felt like the order, Jedi Order, didn't take him serious or didn't listen to him or care about what he wanted, and he had secretly had to get married, fell in love, something that was against Jedi code, and he would have these dreams about his mother, and then find his mom the way he did. Just imagine going through that. So I related to that because let's be honest, we all lose loved ones. We all sometimes let our emotions and anger and stuff get the best of us. So for a guy with that type of power to slip and fall the way he did, and for someone like the Emperor to come in, which y'all know he's cunning, and come in and use his weaknesses against him and say, "Hey, I can save people from death. I got ways of doing that, and this and all that." Why wouldn't he be intrigued about it? So these movies are great, man. They tell the original story. They give you that point of view and that narrative that's just great. I can watch these movies 100 times. Honestly, to be real with you, my first actual movie I saw in a movie theater was The Phantom Menace. First Star Wars movie. My one of my neighbors, one of my friends, his mom, which was one of our neighbors in our neighborhood, took us, and that's the first time I ever seen a Star Wars movie on a big screen. I had seen the originals, The New Hope, Empire Strike Back, and the Return Jedi, but I seen them on like DVD. Not DVD. DVD wasn't even out. It was VCR. On VCR, and I love those movies too. So I guess the new movies for a lot of people hurt them because it's this ideal of you seen some a certain way, and then now you got this different perspective on characters that are iconic to us. Because I ain't gonna lie, when me and my wife went to see The Last Jedi, I was expecting, because we got the little teaser at the end of Force Awakens, and then I'm like, oh man, Luke gonna grab the lightsaber, he gonna unite it, and then he finna go kick Kylo Ren and all their asses. I felt the same way a lot of people did, but when we got the movie, he tossed it off the side of the damn cliff. You know, I'm in the movie theater and I'm just like, and a lot of other people there at the same time, like, what the fuck? Like, what is this? You just make a circus show because for us who love the original films and even the prequels, that lightsaber it's like a religion. It's like if you believed in the Bible, whatever religion or spiritual thing you follow, you just threw it off a cliff into the ocean as if it meant nothing. You just tried to throw it away as if, but you believe in it. You get what I'm saying? We known you to believe in it. So that perspective. But I do want to share with you guys, because like I said, I'm the kind of person I think on different way. Think different ways. I like to see things at different angles. I don't like to say that nothing has one way to me. It's like a river. A river might flow in one direction, but it can go in different directions at any time and still flow in the same direction. If that makes sense to you, if you think about it. So that's how my mind works. So like this guy came on to Star Wars Theory, they live podcast or stream, whatever you want to call it. And like I said, I love those guys, and he had a point of view of the Last Jedi that really intrigued me. And he was just like, imagine being at the top of your game and everyone loves you, and basically, I get tongue tied sometimes. But he builds this temple, and he has these young kids that he's get close to. But then he has this nephew that's troublesome. This nephew who he can't figure out, that he feel like I get to him. You know what I'm saying? Only with time I get to him. I know I will, but he comes to terms that he might not. But then he enters the tent, and this perspective really shook me somewhat, because somewhat it can kind of make sense somewhat. Because like I said, you gotta think of things in different ways. You can't just think of something one way and just decide this is what it is. But that's, we all have our opinions. But when he said basically that, think about it, he entered his tent, and like I do agree with people. Why did he unite this lightsaber? Because the truth is, when you wake up, you're gonna think that. But I believe that when he came in there, you could hear the voices. He felt the evilness and the nastiness inside his nephew, and he just was like, oh hell no. It reminded him of something that was dark, evil, and cruel. So he did not want to allow that to rise again. Because let's be real, he shares some of the same blood in him. You know, his mom is Dark Vader and Anakin Skywalker's daughter, Leda Organa. So that, I mean, let's be real. Um, Ben had a lot of that. You know, had a lot of power. He was powerful. So Luke was terrified. So then he had this notion that made sense even more when he said, imagine waking up after that and your whole everything's burnt down like Luke did, and imagine all of the youngins are dead, and they're all just dead. They're dead, and in Luke's mind, he's failed because he went out, sought out all these kids. 'Cause let's be real, on the Mandalorian, when Luke came in there and was kicking ass, he got Grogu, and he was taking Grogu so he can train him and help him, you know, become better and stronger with the Force. Imagine if Grogu was there on top of all these other species and little kids he got, and his nephew slaughtered his nephew and a couple of the other ones that wouldn't have slaughtered all of them. And when Luke woke, everything burned down. There's a lot of little kids, dead bodies laying around. Of course, he would feel like he failed. So him leaving and going off to that island is like, if we think about it from a real world perspective, it's like you were shut down. But I do understand the notion of people being like, okay, Luke, you know, like, you know, maybe he needed a lit time, but he was gone for a long time, you know. And I just think it was a thing with him where he was just couldn't face the failure that happened. You know, he couldn't face it. And that's why the part of that movie that I liked was when he was trying to burn down the text in the temple, and Yoda basically was like, stopped him. Well, no, Yoda basically sit down lightning on the tip and just burnt it. Luke was like, oh, no, no, no. And he was just basically like, you know, your head up is still in the skies. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made mistakes. He felt Count Dooku. You know, Count Dooku was Yoda's apprentice. He failed him, you know, but Yoda didn't disappear off into another planet and disappear for years and not help, you know, the resistance and stuff like that. The people that needed help, he learned, he worked through those emotions and failures, and he confronted it, and even confronted his student, which we saw. And that's what you have to do. You have to keep pushing forward. That's what we're trying to tell Luke, basically. And that's why Luke, at the end of that movie, came back. So, like, even though I don't like the way they did Luke in the movie, I understand the writing and the reason of why the directors and writers and producers did what they did. And I didn't understand it till last night, really honest with you, because, I mean, like I said, I'm a Luke person. I'm a Luke person because Luke reminds me of me. You know, the guy that wasn't given the best hand at the start, but really wants to help people, really wants to be a light in the world, and wants to discover who he is, and being kind of forced at a certain part of your life when you was a teenager, a young adult, to stay in a situation to help other people progress their things, even if they are your parents or guardians or whatever. I'm telling you, my life, if I wanted to share that with you guys, it'd be funny. It'd be so funny. You have parallel a lot of stuff at that getting that movie relates to my life with him. So to see him like that was kind of hard. You know, the best part was when he used that force ability where he can be in another place. And I ain't gonna lie, before we could see him on that rock, I really thought he was there too. So I don't know. That's just my notion on it. Like I said, that's how I feel about the whole the sequel movies. You know, there's a thing going around with George Lucas. Um, when, you know, it's basically he had a whole different ideal for Star Wars. You know, at least the sequels. And I haven't checked into it, but it's sad to be that he had these different points of view. I actually just bought a book. I actually got the book, but I bought the physical too. Cause I want the physical version because I want to read the physical version too, because I want to understand some of those draws and those angles that he had vision for those movies. Because the truth of the matter is, they went and did something, you know, totally different. So, like, I mean, even the standalone films, Solo, I thought Solo was a great movie. I feel like it touched a lot of different stuff. You think about it. It told you about the dice. It showed us something we didn't know, that Han Solo actually had a love, a first love that was for before Layla. I didn't even think he even had something like that before because he don't. Of course, you don't. By the time we meet Han Solo for the first time, he's an older man in the cantina with Chewie shooting somebody dead. And this younger him, you see how he met this guy who basically taught him, the pistol and the stuff he was doing. It just great movie. Rogue One, great movie. Touches between um, A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, when um, when they basically needed the plans to blow up the Death Star, defeat to blow up the Death Star, basically, if we summon it up. And great movie, man. Great movies. They do the Mandalorian, great series. Star Wars Rebels. I haven't watched Resistance, so I don't know much about that. Um, Great stuff. Clone Wars movie, Clone Wars show, great. But it's. I guess I'm just so curious because it's like, do you like? My question to you guys is, you can comment. It's a do you love the sequels? Dislike the sequels? Do you love the prequels? Dislike the prequels? Do you love or hate the original movies? Because, like I said, like a lady came on there later in the video, and she basically was like, one thing good to take away from it all is each generation gets to still see Star Wars. So, like, let's be real, 1977 wasn't my time. My time really was the sequels, not the sequels, the prequels, which was well, no, not that. These three movies right here: The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. Those were the movies that came out when I was really old enough to understand what the hell Star Wars was. Now, I did see the original movies, New Hope and all that, but this honest, that's my parents' time. But those movies I came up on. So it's just like music. Your parents' music becomes your music, and on top of your music becomes your music. So that's how it was. The sequels are really not for me. They're really for like my kids and stuff like that. Now I can enjoy them as adult because, like we know, George Lucas said a long time ago that Star Wars is for children. He made it for kids. You know what I'm saying? Us adults just enjoy it because how fulfilling and how. And I believe a lot of people love Star Wars because, like I said, like people say, it's like a religion. You know what I'm saying? And the stuff that's practiced in there is spiritual and religious. And it's about good and evil and about standing up to evil despite, what I'm saying, the numbers or despite how bad the situation is or win or lose. Because every last one of those movies ain't about the Jedi or about the Resistance or whatever being on top. Sometimes Darth Vader them was on top. So, that's just a different point of view of it. We got to think about that too. But I can understand for kids that's coming up now to say, "Oh, I don't like New Hope. I don't like Return of the Jedi." This and that. And the truth of the matter is, I wouldn't be mad about it because one, they children. On top of that, those movies were made for children that was growing up in 1970s, 80s, early 80s and stuff. Come on now, these those movies. That's a whole different time in the world. Cars, technology, and stuff was totally different. So the stuff they can do, if you look at even that, and those movies still look great. You go watch the first Star Wars movie. I don't care who you are. If you really like Star Wars, you'll be drawn into it. So the Rise of Skywalker. I like the Rise of Skywalker. I'm gonna tell you the reasons why I like the Rise of Skywalker, and the reasons I didn't. And I have to say one thing. I have to say it because it's how I feel, and I don't want to come off as um, biased or arrogant, but I do feel like Poe wasn't really developed the way he should have been because they kind of had him do some fly guy stuff and he was killing it, but they kind of touched into stuff he probably did before he joined the Resistance, but didn't really do it. They tried to push all that in the movie. And I know J.J. Abrams was working with a little time. He was trying to fix a lot of things from Last Jedi, But then another thing that really hurt me and irritated me is that um, is that Finn in the Force Awakens, Finn ignites the lightsaber. He's fighting a stormtrooper, whooping ass, fighting himself, and he's in the canteen. I can't remember her name right now, which I know is horrible, but he's with her and them, and they went, and she's basically like, I've seen those eyes in someone else before, and and you thinking to yourself, and I know they Ray ends up grabbing the lightsaber and fighting Kylo, but let's be real. She could have been, still a Force user, but I feel like originally when they first wrote that movie with J.J. Abrams, I feel like Finn was also a Force user. And I feel like that's why the dynamic between him and Rey's relationship in that movie was so powerful. And that's why a lot of us honestly thought him and her would kind of like have this little love triangle the same way Layla and Han did in the original movies. But they swapped that out in the Last Jedi and make her be off on this planet with Luke, in which we and wife went to see it, and she even said like this is taking up a lot of time. She's gone over here for all this time, and Finn I'm over here. Finn wakes up in the thing, which we know he got cut and hurt, in that fight in the Force Awakens. So him waking up like that and dripping and stuff was funny, but we still understood the reason. On top of that, they didn't. They brought him out. He got with I can't think of her name. The chick he got with that shocked him and stuff, paralyzed him, and they end up in that part of the movie, which that was powerful. Finn was just like, I'm sick of this. He about to go run right to the thing. If that means saving everybody, he's ready to sacrifice stuff, but she keeps him from doing it, and they end up kissing. And in that moment, I'm just like, oh, okay. So now you'll make him a lover boy, but that's cool. But then I'm thinking, okay, in this last movie, me and Finn gonna grab a lightsaber or something. Then he gonna start. That's gonna come out of him probably, or maybe it'd be a badass like Han Solo, But they kind of like push it off, and they even had a magazine thing with him. I don't know if it was a couple months ago, but he basically said that he felt, they try to bring Palpatine and Rise of Skywalker to save their asses, And honest with you, be real, let's be real. The Rise of Skywalker was a save the day type of movie because, like, let's be honest, it's a great movie, and yeah, it's a great movie, and you can't argue with the fact that it's great, But at the same time, I feel like J.J. Abrams had to work with a lot of stuff that Ryan Johnson messed up. But Ryan Johnson is a genius too, because a lot of stuff in that movie that talks about some stuff that got something to do with Star Wars that don't. Like even Rey with the glass and seeing herself. I understand that, but if you play Star Wars Fallen Jedi Fallen Order, you will see a part where Cal goes back to the first planet. I can't think of the name of it right now, but if you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. He goes back there basically, and he basically is looking at this glass, and he sees himself and stuff in it. He sees the reflection of himself and everything else that's going to take place. And Rey had that moment when she went down to the thing that she was being warned not to do. So, hold on. Oh, we're gonna talk about it. All right. All right. So even in this part right here, we come right here, right? You see Kylo going in because Kylo has found out that basically the Emperor is back alive. Now, let's be real. In the first two movies, we hear nothing about the Emperor. Nothing. Nothing about him. So I kind of do agree that he wasn't in the original plans. Like Star Wars Theory said on YouTube, he wasn't an original plan. I know some people saying, he was this now. I don't think he was. I think that they had to reach back for an iconic character because let's be real, the Emperor. We all know the Emperor. We all, whether you hate or love him, you know him. You know him. He a con artist. And I ain't gonna lie, the man is smart. He manipulated the hell out of Anakin, then used them and lied and told him stuff about this and the four. I believe that the Emperor knew that Luke and Layla lived, but I believe he kept that away from Anakin because he wanted to still control him as Darth Vader. He's flying out there. He's headed to city is, and I don't know, guys. That these parts of the movie are great, but it's parts where you could tell that even they brought Lando back. That was a great thing because that's the original movies. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff in this movie. If you weren't an original fan, because this movie was a callback to. Let's be real. Let's go back. If you're being honest with yourself, it was a callback to Return of the Jedi, guys. That's what it's called back to. Because the whole movie is called back to this. The whole movie, the way it's dressed up and the way it ends. If you see Return of the Jedi, you seen at the end how they were celebrating. At the end of the Rise of Skywalker, what were they doing? It's all right there celebrating, hugging, kumbaya, I love you. All of that. All that jazz. So, J.J. Abrams understood something. I'm going to tell you something how you can tell this was great about us as human beings. J.J. Abrams, you could tell when he made the movies versus Ryan Johnson that came in for Last Jedi. The Force Awakens, man, when you watch that movie, and if you like the original movies, you definitely feel like, wow, whoever made this movie loved The New Hope. Loved those movies because The Force Awakens has this thing about it. Just like, wow, this movie starts off, this movie is great. The whole movie, you just like, wow. Then you get to you get to Last Jedi, you just like, what the fuck is this? So. And it got some small, nice parts, but the whole movie is like, nah, fuck no, man. Some weak moments, like the moment the woman sacrifices herself for all of them, and the things blow up and stuff in outer space and stuff in space. It was dope, it was some dope stuff. And Luke coming, like I said, it was some dope stuff. Yoda appearance, but even the fight when Kylo and Raiden fighting the people and he stuck the lightsaber through Snoke, that was dope. Those things were dope, but as a movie as a whole, not so great. A Rise of Skywalker, not the Rise of Skywalker. The Rise of Skywalker, I feel like you could tell was J.J. Abrams because the way the movie is shot, directed, if I'm saying that right, produced, it has that same somewhat feeling of Force Awakens, but the only difference is you can tell he's trying to fix things. His original idea for the next movie after Force Awakens, we don't even know if it would have been called The Last Jedi. Even if it would have been, I'm pretty sure that movie would have been a lot more touching. And if anything, what would have probably happened was, and this is speculation, this ain't facts, but I believe that he would have had it where Rey would have found Luke. Luke would have probably been worn down, just like when Luke found Yoda in the original movies, and she would have found him. And he would have trained her up and all this stuff and been maybe secretly sick or just worn down because of all of the pain and tragedy he had experienced, all the trauma. And either he would have fought with her and still died, but I think that he would have had an honorable death. I think he would have fought. We would have seen him and Kylo have a showdown, you know what I'm saying? Or him and Emperor have a showdown. Because let's be real. Who wouldn't love to see Luke and Emperor face to face again? But I don't know, guys. Those points of views really stuck out to me. Like I said, I love Star Wars in general. I'm a Star Wars fiend. I love it. I love the whole idea of it. But I can't say when I don't like something I do. The Mandalorian, man. Oh my God! If you've never seen it, you need to watch it. And I'm not like a tear crying type of dude, but I ain't gonna lie. That last scene with Luke, wow. Luke coming in there kicking ass. That shit, man. It hit different. Because to be honest, let's be real, we never saw where is it? Hold on. Oh, hold on, guys. I'm trying to find it. We never saw Luke fight like that. So to see Luke in full throttle going in, hmm, that hmm, that hit different. So this moment when even the robots, because I'm gonna tell you something, I don't know how they built these robots or whatever they call them, droids or whatever they want to call them, they robots. They didn't they? They was literally beating the door in, still doing, trying to get in there to rescue the guy and get the Grogu and stuff like that. But you can tell they recognize power and dominance. Because let's be real, we all even in human race, we understand. You can be around somebody and tell when they are just a dominant character. You can feel the energy. You can feel just that. It's like going to the zoo. We all are feeling good as long as the lion is behind the cage. But if that lion get out, we all running. You know why we running? Because we as mammals we recognize dominance. We know we can't whip a lion without a gun. We wouldn't even fight him with a sword. Let's be real. You need some stopping power. Because one on one without anything in line to eat any of our asses alive. I don't care if you're strong as the rock or the strongest man in the world. You get your ass ate. Line comes different. And it's a dominance thing. So you ask me, that X-Wing flew through there. That music get and man, we all just like, what the fuck coming? And I ain't gonna lie, I knew it when I seen that ship. I said, "Oh Lord, no, 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 no!" The music, he come out there and nice, the green lightsaber, start chopping foods to pieces. Uh, see, he feeling good. You can see him. Look, he's feeling good about the whole thing. He's just like, yeah, they gonna come in here and shoot all you motherfuckers dead. I'm a guy. There we go. X-wing. Yeah, you are safe. And let's be real. None of us expected this. None of us expected it. Sorry, I got the shrimp and these grits looking good. They hot. Can't eat. You know how hard it is to eat hot grits. See, they stopped. Why did they? Why did they stop? Because, like I said, they recognize it. This is what greatness happens, guys. This is why, like when the ladies on their thing said, it don't matter what period you like and all that. Man, Star Wars has spawned generations, and it's moments like this that really create the dynamic that we need. And that's why on my channel, like I was playing Outriders to be honest with you, but tonight I think we just gonna play Battlefront, man. I want to stick to things I love to do and play and stuff, and I really don't want to indulge in things I don't. So like, hold on, let me see. If I don't like it or care for it, I won't be doing it. So that's just simple when it comes to that. So I do want to play Fallen Order too. So we might switch between games tonight. I don't know. But anyway, we're playing Star Wars stuff tonight at the end of the day. So hold on, camera. So that's the notion. I switch my monitors around. Like right now, I got my monitor I actually like to play the game stuff on, and my monitor over here that's got all the stuff for you guys over here. So that's the difference. Anyway, we're gonna switch streams. Let me get out of this. And then we're gonna go live. We're gonna switch back to this. All right. But if you guys want to come and see that live, 7 p.m. EST, I will be live with that. I just want to come over to this, and I'm a when I do fill up to it, like I said, cut the notifications on and stuff. But when I do fill it, I will get on, just have talks with you guys. You guys talk back, man. Don't be scared to say something in the comments about how you feel about it, if you even like Star Wars. But like, I love it. I mean, which you can tell, I got the stuff behind me. Like, my comfortable back is Darth Vader. I got my PS5 controller, and even my system's covered in Grogu. I got Grogu sitting over here in the corner. Like, it's real to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand that everybody has different perspectives. Right there. My little buddy. I haven't talked about the plastic because I'm waiting to remove, and I actually get like a stand to put behind in the room behind the stream, so you guys can see him and all the other pieces and people I got. But I do have him. Have my little buddy. Got him. And my PS5 controller is broke through. And PS5 is back there. I can't move that. Even I got two customers, but this one, I don't know if you can see it. Only Master of Evil, Dark. And I am the master. So yeah, this is cut mug. My wife got for me. I got a war one too. So. But you guys, if you want to come in on here or on Twitch, not Twitch, Twitter, or whatever, or if you want to come back at 7 o'clock and talk about it, tell somebody about the stream, man. Tell them to come hang out with us as we talk about Star Wars. We play Star Wars, so we're going to be playing Star Wars in less than 4 hours, 3.5 hours basically. So, like I said, guys, be there. We will be playing, having fun with it. Like I said, I'm enjoying Outriders, but I'm learning on these platforms that when you play games like that, with that many people playing them with those high numbers, it kind of leaves you out. So that's not what we want. We want to be seen too. So we're gonna do what we need to do to make sure we're seen, and not only be seen, but stuff we want to play too. Cause like I said, I want to play Outriders, but Outriders bringing in too much attention in a lot of bad ways that we don't have time for. So anyway, I enjoyed you guys. And this is just a pop-up stream, just to talk about that. I'm feeling go enjoy this food and chill and relax for a little bit, and before streaming a couple hours, and I will see you guys at 7 EST, and that's Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. EST. This Saturday I will have a stream too. We just gonna go crazy this Saturday. Saturday night I'm gonna stream for a couple hours because I still have to work Saturday nights late. So we're gonna stream for a little bit. We're gonna cut up, cause my wife's going to out with, so I won't be spending time with her. So like I said, thank you guys for that came through and just listen, But if you ever want to say something down below about anything we talking about, you always can. But I will see you guys later on.